What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle. In this video, March 8th, a day to remember in the NFL, a huge, huge day. We see Aaron Rodgers returns to Green Bay. The details of that new contract are to be determined. You also see Davante Adams franchise tagged among a couple other guys franchise tagged. We'll get into that in the show as well. And then you have the Russell Wilson trade to Denver. It's just insane. So we're going to cover each thing. We'll kind of get into the fantasy aspects. We'll look at the depth charts for Green Bay, for Denver, for Seattle. But first, I wanted to, before we get to the Rodgers and the Russell Wilson trade, I just want to shout out some of the other franchise tags that went down so far here. You have Mike Gesicki, the tight end for Miami, getting franchise tagged, as well as David Njoku getting franchise tagged, and you have Dalton Schultz. So three big tight ends all get franchise tagged here. Jesse Bates also got franchise tagged. The Chiefs franchise tagged Orlando Brown, and then I think Davante and Chris Godwin were the two headliners today. So two very big wide receivers getting it. Just an awesome day here in the NFL. Good afternoon to Aiden. And yeah, Cam Robinson. I'm actually going to hop into a screenshot. I might as well just show you guys what I'm looking at. But franchise tags abound. Cam Robinson, big offensive tackle there. But this was just an exciting day. It kind of felt like the NFL officially started the new season today. So Jags looking like a fun offseason for them. But yeah, at the tight ends is weird. I don't know why Njoku got the franchise tag. I wonder if they could have worked out a deal here. But to pay Njoku the same as Gesicki and Dalton Schultz, I'd like to think they're going to use him a little bit more. So very interesting indeed. But we want to get to the meat of the show today. It's the Aaron Rodgers show, man. This is a direct tweet from Aaron Rodgers. It looked like Pat McAfee was the one to break this today, but it says, "Hey, everyone, just wanted to clear some things up. Yes, I will be playing with the Packers next year. However, reports about me signing a contract are inaccurate, as are the supposed terms of the contract I signed. I'm very excited to be back. Year number 18. So we will see what happens here with Aaron Rodgers, if it's a 2, 3, 4-year deal. I would like to think that it's going to be something that's worked around Davante Adams. So we'll take a peek here at what the Packers got going on. Christian says, with limited tight ends remaining in free agency, does Evan Ingram get out of New York? Probably. I don't think they want to pay Evan Ingram. That's for sure. They're going to let him test the markets, and I guess if he comes back on a deal, that's fine. But the Giants also let Kyle Rudolph walk here too. So I'm thinking Evan Ingram's a guy that could get moved around. Maybe a New York Jets would be a good spot for him. I think there's going to be a lot of tight ends moving around this offseason. And the Jags told the we'll see. But man, I'm excited about the Packers offense now. Aaron Rodgers. I'm hoping it's a 2 or 3-year deal. I don't think it's going to be a 4th-year deal. We'll see the terms of that. But either way, Rodgers is back. Aaron Jones is under contract, as well as AJ Dillon. So those guys are locked into place here. I think Aaron Jones, probably a guy that you want to value as a running back too for fantasy. So whether that's a 3rd-round pick, we'll see. I think A.J. Dillon's going to carry a ton of value in fantasy drafts this year as a low-end RB2, a top 30 running back for sure. But it's Davante Adams retaining his value as a top 5 fantasy player here. And then if the Packers bring back Allen Lazard, MVS, we'll see. Those guys are both free agents at the moment right now. And then Robert Tonyan, hope he returns well from his injury. But so far, I guess the main takeaway for fantasy, nothing really changes with the Green Bay offense. Rodgers, still a fringe top 5 quarterback for fantasy, definitely a top 10 option. Aaron Jones, again, a top 10, top 12 running back. A.J. Dillon, a top 20, top 25 running back. And, of course, Davante is going to compete with Cooper Kupp for the best wide receiver in the game. But I want to get to the big trade today. And I'm going to pull up actually what the Seattle Seahawks actually got for Russell Wilson. So Broncos Seahawks trade, and I believe it was. Let's see. Let's pull this up. The Broncos are going to be a ton of fun this season. I just want to pull up what the Seahawks were able to get for Russell Wilson. So it's a 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-rounder, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant. So that's a huge haul. I mean, I don't think Drew Lock's the long-term answer for Seattle, that's for sure. So they're going to bring in a quarterback to compete with him. Whether they draft someone, I think at the 8th position overall in the draft, or maybe they sign a guy like Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota. I think that's a very legit opportunity for them. But 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 5th, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant. Really happy for Seattle there. And then Denver, they only had to they give up a 4th-round pick in the deal here, but very exciting time. We'll look at the Denver offense here coming up next. Let me see what we got going on here. And yeah, Melvin's a free agent. He's probably going to walk. What we're looking at here is Wilson's locked in. You're going to see Javonte Williams be probably. I think a lot of people are going to be excited to draft Javonte Williams in the 2nd round of fantasy drafts this year. This might even boost them up now that they know that they have a really, lock steady quarterback. So big news for Javonte Williams in the drafts. But Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, you're looking at 3 bomb wideouts here. Even KJ Hamler, when he returns healthy, he's going to be a nice 4th fiddle. And then Albert Okwuegbunam, that's the name that you're going to want to know. I actually think Albert O is more gifted than Noah Fant. I always thought that he's bigger, faster, stronger than Noah Fant. I think maybe a little bit better in the playbook. But either way, Albert O going to be one of our tight end, our darling tight ends that we get in the late rounds this year. And Russell Wilson has been, prone to throw to this tight end. But it's Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. Aiden likes the Cortland Sutton. I'm not sure how it's going to work. I would imagine Jerry Jeudy is going to be the possession receiver. He's going to operate like a Tyler Lockett would. And then DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, that's easy to kind of make that correlation. And then Tim Patrick. I mean, this is going to be an exciting Denver Broncos offense. I think in terms of fantasy, this is a team that you're going to want to be invested in, whether you take Russell Wilson or you take Javonte Williams, or you nab one of the receivers here, or even the tight end. I think there's legit 6 players on this offense that you're going to want for fantasy. And it's the offensive line. That's what's going to be the big difference here, is can that offensive line hold up and protect Wilson and lead these Broncos to an AFC West title or a Super Bowl victory here. And then plugging in Shelby Harris into this defensive front is very, very good as well. So I like the Broncos basically moving the chips all in, but the Seahawks, in terms of a rebuild here, let's take a look at what the Seahawks got going on. This is their depth chart. Drew Lock, Geno Smith, Jacob Eason at the top of the quarterbacks. Rashad Penny's a free agent. I think Chris Carson's coming back. I'm not sure. Alex Collins, DJ Dallas. So they need to refigure out what they're doing at the running back position. But receivers, Lockett, DK Metcalf are there. They like Freddie Swain. They like D. Eskridge. So they kind of have a top 4. Maybe they add someone in there to compete as the wide receiver 4 or 5. And then now you got Noah Fant. And Gerald Everett's a free agent. So you're locked in with Lockett, Metcalf, and Fant. We'll see if they sign Rashad Penny. It might even make sense for them to bring in a veteran running back and bring Penny in. So Seahawks, a lot of questions at QB, a lot of questions at running back. I'm glad you asked this, Christian. Does DK or Lockett even hold any more fantasy value? So there was a couple games last year, and I guess here's my take on this. Let's take a look at this, because Geno Smith started a handful of games last year. So in my brain, I'm thinking this is as worse as it's going to get. So basically, he started 3.5 games, the Rams through Jacksonville. So let's go ahead and look at what Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf did in those games, from the Rams all the way to Jacksonville. So Tyler Lockett in this situation. And again, our man got hurt. Russell Wilson got hurt against the Rams, and these are the 4 games in which our guy Geno Smith played. So Lockett in that, I guess, the first game without Russell, he goes 2 for 35. That's 5.5 fantasy points. Not great for PPR. Against the Saints, he goes 2 for 12. Another horrible game. But in Jacksonville, 12 for 142, which is just massive. That's 26 fantasy points. But still, the fact remains, only a couple of useful games for fantasy, I guess, out of Lockett without Russell Wilson. So that's concerning. And then I think DK was the winner with Geno Smith. Let me actually take a look here and see what DK Metcalf did in that same time. So DK, in that game, I remember him catching 2 touchdowns from Geno, but otherwise 6 for 58, 2 for 96 and a touchdown, 6 for 43 and 2 touchdowns. So I think the guy that Geno was looking to was DK Metcalf, that actually gave him some of the best value of his season. So it's weird. I think you're going to basically you're going to continue to see the same up and down value, where Lockett's going to be that boom bust kind of receiver. I'm thinking DK can be a little bit more consistent this year, and he's going to lead the team in touchdowns. I think that's easy to say. And if it is Drew Lock, think about what Drew Lock did well in Denver. He threw the ball to Cortland Sutton. He jived with Noah Fant. He was able to throw to the bigger receiver. So I like I like DK Metcalf here more than Tyler Lockett. So for me, long-term hold, you're still holding on to DK. Lockett, I'm a little bit concerned about. The draft rule is yes for DK. I don't know about Lockett yet. And well, I think either way, DK Metcalf is a buy right now. If you can get DK Metcalf on this news that Seattle doesn't have a quarterback, I think you do it. So Seattle's going to be drafting 9th overall. And I don't necessarily think they need to take a quarterback here. They could sign Jameis Winston. They could, add Marcus Mariota, Ryan Fitzpatrick. They could wait here. They do have 2 picks here, which is really nice, 40 and 41 overall. So the chances of them taking a quarterback in the top 41 seem to make sense to me. So we'll see what happens. I don't think they need to take one at 9. They could take a really good offensive line or defensive lineman or something there, whatever they choose. So we'll see. But either way, like this was a very exciting day for the NFL. And again, Geno Smith, Drew Lock, they're going to compete for the quarterback duties. And who knows? Maybe they don't draft a quarterback. Maybe they just kind of punt on the position and figure it out in a year or two. But overall, quite the exciting day. Just so much fantasy news going on here. I'm excited for more. We're probably going to be on chill the rest of the week. But hey, free agency starts next week. This is the fun part where we start to see where the teams are lining up and everything's starting to make a little bit more sense. So this was a lot of fun to do this prop video for you guys. I'm going to be doing a live basketball show later tonight, so join me at about an hour and a half for that. If anything, let me see. We got one more question here. Do the Packers retain MBS or Lazard or both? I as a Packer fan, I want them to retain both. If they don't retain both, that makes me think that they're going to draft some players. But either way, you're probably thinking at least getting one of those guys back. They've both been very vital to the Packers' success in the last year or two. So I'm hoping, again, with the Rodgers deal not really necessarily known. We have to see what they do for Rodgers, for Davante in terms of money, and then after that, whatever's left, they have to bring back MVS, they have to bring back Lazard, and then they have a bunch of defensive players that they have to sign too here. So the Packers, very very murky. I think for fantasy, we don't really care about MVS or Lazard. It's going to be Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, Davante. Those are the top 3 that you want. Aiden says, draft ETN. I will say that now. Shad was at the O-line day and seems to be moving whoever we draft inside. Yep, Jags are going to build that offensive line. I'm excited. It's a Doug Peterson offense. They're going to run the ball and play a lot of running back positions here. So it's going to be fun for the Jags. Excited about their draft. And Packers need Christian Watson. I'm probably going to be making a profile video on Christian Watson soon. I don't know. He's kind of a second-round pick. I don't know where we land if he would make us in the second round, but we'll see. Very exciting to see Christian Watson, though. Really, he destroyed the NFL draft combine, so we'll see what happens. But that's going to do it for this video. Just want to do a quick one for you guys. We'll be doing more NFL stuff, especially with free agency kicking off next week. So thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Congrats to Denver. Congrats to Seattle, too. It's a new era in Seattle football, a chance to start anew. We'll see what happens there. And the Packers running it back. We'll see how it goes. So thank you guys for your time. Have a good one. Peace.